what a powerful show. That's another one, no. Tamika and Peter and put a live with Tamika. Fruitful Tuesday, they need it for sure.
Live with Tamika. Fearless Friday, they need it more and more.
Live with Tamika. The most I will bless us for sure.
Live with Tamika. Just global, here we go. We motivate, we elevate you to higher heights. Determination as we empower your mind. Building confidence, you will be surprised. D-O-V-S, we are on the rise.
When we are rising, not driving, we not compromising. We come for preaching truth. When we are shifting, uplifting, only got the youth. Tell them we come to be first. We train the men to be kings, women to be queens. Help us build a self-esteem. Lord, with thy name, we'll never put you to shame. Lord, they cannot support you a day.
Live with Tamika. Fearless Friday, they need it more and more.
Live with Tamika. Fruitful Tuesday, we need that for sure. Live with Tamika. Doves Global, here we go.
We motivate, we elevate you to higher heights. Determination as we empower your mind. Building confidence, you will be surprised. D-O-V-S.
Hi, my name is Tamika, and I am a Godpreneur. I am the founder and CEO of Doves Global Event International, a platform where we create, promote, and host events as God leads. For more information, you can send an email to dovsglobal@gmail.com or send a WhatsApp to 754-946-9754. You can also follow us on Facebook at Doves Global Events INTL. Our motto is creating memorable moments as we connect you from promise to purpose.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Good night.
Welcome to another live with Tamika, y'all. Tonight is Friday, and you know how we do it. We keep things real on a Friday night. And so, as we do always, we are going to get started off in a word of prayer, and we're going to go from there as we always do. It's so good to be back in the house tonight on a Friday evening. Bim! Let's have a word in prayer, y'all. Father, we give you thanks, we give you praise, we give you glory and honor. God, we bless your name, for you are worthy to be praised. We ask, oh God, that you would take full control tonight over everything that we would say and what we do. Father God, that someone may be blessed, strengthened, encouraged, and motivated to be better humans, to move from where they are to where they need to be. God, we ask right now that you would just take full control. And we say thank you for all that will be tuning in tonight and be a blessing. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. 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 So tonight we are continuing our survival series. And tonight our guest is Mr. Larry Adderley. Mr. Adderley, can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you clearly.
Awesome, wonderful, awesome, awesome. Uh, it's still showing that I'm not sure if everyone can, if you can hear us, just let me know, please, because it's telling me that the mics are still muted. So I don't know if that means if it's muted on uh, everyone else except us. But nevertheless, if so, they can catch up, hopefully. So tonight, like I said, we are talking about survival. Who say men don't survive things, babe? You know, we are so sometimes captivated on, you know, the woman being the one that goes through so much things. And when you hear survival, you know, in a lot of cases, you think about critical things, life-threatening things that you would have gone through, you would have overcame, you would have survived. And 9 out of 10 times, it's mainly the women that you know, either would come forward and share their story, testify, talk about their experiences. And sometimes you find that men are a bit more reserved and, you know, sharing their story. But just as women would go through sharing their story, you have some men that have gone through some situations, you know, and survived and have been and will continue to be a blessing for those persons who would have gone through situations uh, um, and came out of it and lived to share their story. And one of the things that I love to do is I like to talk about me, because what you're not going to do, you're not going to say, oh, she's talking about me. No, I'm talking about me because I'm telling you my story, you know. And I like to tell people, when you share your story, one of the things to do is just to be real about it and just tell it from a healed place, from, you know, not from all of the hurt, frustration, and anger, and all of the things and the mixed emotions that you're dealing with at that particular time, you know. And once we allow ourselves to heal from situations, from all of the hurt and the pain, your story becomes uh, more relatable. It's more you know, it hits different. And so I ask persons, you know, to be able to share from a healed place. And I would usually, like I said, share my story. And so, you know, for those of you who've been following the Live with Tamika show for a while, you pretty much know a portion of my story. And so, just so that I can just give a recap, um, I survived, was birthed a few years ago, about 3 to 4 years ago, and I was going through a divorce, coming out of a divorce. And you know, and the more times I tell the story, I'm like, good God, like what? But coming out of a divorce and contemplating suicide, contemplating so many different things at the time, and being 5 months pregnant, contemplating whether or not I should end the life of me and my unborn child because of the situation that I was in. And, you know, on top of that, my husband at the time, I felt as if he abandoned me. He did not do or live up to his end of the bargain in terms of the vows we took. You know, we in this together. It's me and you. What we can do comes first. Anybody else's opinion, suggestion, thoughts, it comes afterwards. It don't matter. And it didn't end up like that. And so I found myself in deep depression. Like I said, suicidal thought, mind battles was my good friend. And I would always put on a facade, this mask, you know, pretending that everything was good, and it was not. And it was tearing me up inside. It was breaking me down. And to my family and many other persons, they could have seen that something was terribly wrong. And I just kept it up for as long as I thought I could, where, you know, oh, I'm fine, everything is fine, all is well. And and at the end of the day, I was completely falling apart, and it took I call it my core sisters to just help speak life and threaten me and talk to me harsh and just to help and bring me and keep me out of those areas in my life that I I was in at the time, and so I survived, came about to say, listen, no matter what situation you faced yourself in, you can survive. There's hope after being in a mental abusive relationship, be it a physical relationship. There's hope after betrayal, that you can survive and still live and accomplish every single thing that you have planned to do, intended to do, purpose to do. It's going to take you a little while to get back in the groove of things, but one day out of seven, you have to realize that there is purpose in you. Everything that you would have gone through is for a reason, and so tonight, as Mr. Adderley shares whatever God releases him to share in terms of his survival story, as things that he has been through, um, and overcame, and just to be an encouragement to somebody else. And one thing I appreciate with this young man, he's going to tell you how it is, like it is, whether you like it or not, and he's going to be real and honest. And that's the type of people you need around you, because you don't need nobody who's going to sugarcoat you and pamper you. You need somebody who's going to tell you like it is. Listen here, stop your stuff, just get it together, and you understand? And so, as I turn the floor over to him, um, he will formally introduce himself and share whatever it is that he's going to share with us tonight. Mr. Adderley.
All right. Everybody clear? All right. Thank you for having me. First of all, you said to introduce myself. My name is Larry Adley. The people who normally text me in the background and tell me what to do, how to do, what to wear, not calling no names, but Rosie
Right,
um,
right, 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 right.
and others, they will have me to address uh, myself as Apostle Larry Vincent Adderley Jr.,
Oh, shucks.
Justice, Marriage Officer of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And one of them persons is my Annie. They always want to tell me how I should be, what I should do. It's not my forte, but I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm,
I'm happy that you invited me on the show tonight to speak about things that I survived. All right. I have overcome many challenges. Just to touch a few on the surface, I guess, if I may. But before I do say anything, I'd like to say this. Um, Surviving is a skill. All right. There's a quote
mm-hmm.
written by myself. What you don't understand in life, you can never conquer. All right. If you don't understand something, you could never begin to address it. All right. And even in surviving, I understand that I actually survived because I understood how to keep my mouth.
Whew.
All right. I learned how to keep my mouth at a very, very early age. I also understand, even coming from a place of sharing your testimony of how others may survive, you yourself, but I also understand that people don't have appreciation for that. I have taken the approach when it comes down to sharing my story
Mm-hmm.
of the approach of people seeking after me and my story. I will
Uh-huh.
not open You will not get me to openly share how I survive. You
Okay.
have a lot of people monitoring spirits.
Mm-hmm.
They want information. They want
Mm-hmm.
to know, they want to hear, oh, I was in an abusive relationship. They want to hear, oh, I had suicide. They want to hear,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I used to catch the bus. I used to do this. A lot of people don't have an appreciation for that. So even in surviving, you have to be very careful. So what am I saying here? When you face challenges in life, you learn to identify the problem and you
Mm-hmm.
learn to, well, how I did it, how I survived is actually watching people like you, Tammy, and other people and this one and that one and their life story and how they deal with it. And, so some things don't actually have to be told. You could sit back and watch a person. Hey, they went right. When they went right, right brought them some bad results. So if they went right, why should you go right? Understand what took place when they went right and seek another direction. It is so easy. It is so simple. It isn't hard, but a lot of people don't want to do the hard work. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Surviving is also, I'm giving you keys on how I survive. Surviving
Okay.
from my concept of it, the way I saw it, the way I survive. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Surviving also to me is, I'll give you, it's knowledge, what you gain, what you understand, right? And let me give you an example of that.
Okay.
So you have a male and a female, right? I can put a twist on it. And bear in mind, when I speak, I kind of speak from how God delivered the word to us through his word, the Bible. When I speak, if you're foolish, you're not going to understand. The Bible even isn't for the foolish because he's speaking parables. So you got to
Mm-hmm.
come with some level of wisdom to even understand what the Bible even saying. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So what am I saying? The revelation is this: you have a male and a female, right? And they're watching this movie, and in this movie, you see where a man and a woman is together, but this woman cheat on this man. All right.
Mm-hmm.
But you have this couple watching this movie. So you have this man in the movie saying, honey, we need to talk. All right. So the woman sit down to the table, they have a talk. He says, honey, you cheated on me. This is what you did. I didn't appreciate this. I didn't like this. Here it is. You have this couple sitting down in a chair watching this movie, watching this man address his wife. You know, um, the man who's watching the movie would sit down and look at his wife. No, boy, that couldn't have been me. That couldn't have been me. I would do this. I would do that. I would do this. I would do that. All right. Why? Because that is his background. That's all he know. You only could deal with certain things based on the knowledge that you obtain. So what am I saying to you? Sometimes a lot of things could be avoided for you, or if not avoided, could allow you to survive the situation, to be able to go on to another situation, to be a conqueror. All right. Not everything you have to go through. I don't know why people have to go through the concept of going through something. You don't necessarily have to do that. I survived by mastering the art of watching people.
Wow.
I survived by watching the art of watching the system. If the system fail you, what make you think it ain't gonna fail me? So I duck a lot of things. I survive a lot of things by just watching. I don't know if I answered your
Paying
question so far.
attention.
Now, I've been through relationships, breakup. I had many relationships, relationship breakup. Uh, speak to that. Um, I had a relationship, or maybe two relationship that you ask people, hey, you ready for this? You understand? They tell you they understand, they don't understand. So as a result of that, you end bad. I've had people close to me in relationship turn their back on me when I was sick.
Mm-hmm.
These things happen. And mentally, I had to deal with um, raising a child alone. Um, People might be proud with me saying that, but that's what happened. I know my story, and I refuse to let I refuse to let anyone tell me how I should say it or how I interpreted what happened to me. So that's a you problem. I raised a child alone. I survived it. How did I survive it? I watch other friends how they deal with certain things, other family members how they deal with things, and as a result of that, my son is a student. You
Mm.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, um, your story or your challenge isn't always a death sentence. It isn't always a death sentence, and your story can sometimes be used to uplift people. But I've learned to put that in the reverse. I'm not going to seek you out. I'm not going to seek you out. You're going to have to identify yourself to me. You're going to have to you're going to have to share your story with me for me to edify you and let you know, hey, you could get past this. And that's where a lot of people, in my opinion, will find more appreciation. All right. To hand it out, easily. Mm-mm. I don't think it's something that people appreciate or they handle the information as they should.
So, so, hearing you say that, it sounds as if like, how people say church hurt. So you've been
Right.
people hurt to the point where, you know, you just don't care to go out and voluntarily share your story, but in conversation, or if they say, okay, or if they heard, for some way heard your story, you
Right.
know, and they come look at you, Larry, I heard say you gone through this, you survived this, like how you
Mhm.
do it, like that's no problem. So what about somebody who don't know you and somebody who is probably going through the same or similar situation? So, and they just waiting to hear of something or someone, that's saying, because you gotta have people out there who are not social media inclined, who don't mix and mingle with any and everybody,
Mhm.
and they just need to know that they're not alone, and but then again, things happen. God have things so strategic to happen that sometimes people will come in your path,
Thank you very
at the right time and at the right moment. I was thinking, just like, okay, 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 okay. Now you said something I want to touch on. If it's okay, you talked about raising your son, your kid
right.
by yourself. As
Right.
a father raising a child by themselves, most times you always hear of the women raising the children, and
Yeah.
and how the women have to do everything, the mother has to do everything, the mother has to fight and make sure that the child's need is completely taken care of. Here it is now, you're saying you're doing this. This is something that you have done for however long you're
To,
old or long you've
to,
been doing it.
tomorrow will make 13 years.
13 years you've
His birthday
been.
is yes.
Happy birthday to him in advance.
Yes.
But my question is, as
Uh,
a as a father, you know, how now is it? Because like I said, we always hear about the mother. From a
yeah.
father's aspect of it now, what are some of the things that you now would teach your child? Listen, you didn't realize it's me and you in this, right? Because you have some people that will speak negatively, illward about their, in your case, your mother or the other person surrounding them.
Yeah.
As a father, how do you now, or what are the lessons of survival that you're now teaching your child? Because you can say it, but as people, as humans, we watch what you do and not what you say.
Right.
And it's so important as a father, because especially if it's a male seed. what seed are you planting now into your male seed or your female seed?
Okay. With that, um, um, with that one thing. Okay, my whole concept about raising a child is family life. That's the first thing. With that being said, that
Mm-hmm.
mother, father, child, and then you have the village. All
Right.
right. The village was there, the father was there, and the mother wasn't there in my interpretation of what a mother should be. Now, she may have her interpretation.
Okay.
So that means that doesn't
Right.
necessarily mean that she wasn't there or whatever. But in my viewpoint, okay. For example, I give you an
Right.
example.
Right.
Um, as a father, sometimes fathers feel like giving money, giving money, giving money, giving money, giving money. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're there. You see what I'm saying? That doesn't necessarily mean that the whole man is there. All right. And the whole man
Okay.
being there, that is fatherhood. So I could remember having private conversations with him and telling him, this is not healthy. This is not normal. So I don't want you to think that this is healthy and normal.
That's
So,
good. That's really good.
so I could remember saying things like that. I could also remember saying, hey, love your mommy, respect your mommy, do this, call, check on your mommy, you do your part. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that was how it was with me coming up with him. I teach him to tell me how he feels, to be
Mm-hmm.
respectful,
Mm-hmm.
everything positive that I thought was needed to be imparted in him. I seek it out and I
Mm-hmm.
demonstrate it and present it to him the best way possible so he could get a picture. So, for example, um, I want him to have an idea of if something is going wrong in his house or in somebody else's house, he could recognize that it's not the norm. It's foreign.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though I grew up in something that shouldn't be, I still can identify what should be.
Exactly.
Okay. So that's how I dealt with him with that. Even I could remember I would tell him, he don't like these kind of conversations. I would tell him, oh, I speak to him about death. I speak to him about sex, all of these things I speak to him. And
Mm-hmm.
like I say, death. I can remember speaking to him about death and, daddy and mommy is not going to be here forever. The sun is designed to set on me one day, rise on you, set on you one day, rise on your children. These are things
Mm-hmm.
I talk to him about. And I remember my mom passing away. And even though it hurt or whatever, I felt that at his age, he handled it well. He survived it. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Communication. I don't hide things from him. When people look at me and say, well, oh, you shouldn't be having a conversation. Oh, you shouldn't be doing that. Listen to me. If I don't do it, the world will do it. And the world isn't going to be guided on how they do it. And they could
True.
guide them down the wrong path. The wrong
Mm-hmm.
path could be keep it in, suicidal.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We survive when we open up and we release things. And at the same time of releasing things, we help somebody survive too.
Definitely.
And I was so happy I had the conversation with Death, uh, with him. And then, like I said, my mom passed. And to move on with that, I even survived that. I still
Mm-hmm.
survive in that. You know, I have never encountered anyone dying so close to me. Anyone. I can remember, I can remember sitting in the front row. And I can remember clear as day, my mom passing the windowsill, going out with my siblings. It
Mm-hmm.
was going, and I remember, I can remember clear as day. And I can remember getting a phone call and saying, "Oh, mommy is going through this. You need to come." And I was like, "Going through this?" I was like, "Anyway." So in my head, I was like, "Okay, yeah, yeah. Um, this is a normal thing in the Bahamas when you get, down in age. We always hearing about these things." I was like, "Okay, she going through a little minor something. A little bit of adjustment, and we'll be okay." I said, "Okay,
Mm-hmm.
cool." After that, I can remember following the ambulance to the hospital. I said something and I asked, not knowing that that was the last time I'll ever speak to my mom.
Wow.
You know, so you know me, I ain't hanging up. I ain't trying to get my pressure. I ain't trying to get my pressure riled up. I remember coming home and I remember getting a call. Oh, they want to do this procedure, whatever, whatever. And I was like, I don't think mommy would want that. I said, but if that's what y'all want, support. I got that call. After that, I can remember hanging up the phone, getting a phone call back. Hey, she's no longer here.
Wow.
Instantly, instantly, I went in this thing called survival mode. I realized I did not have my support system anymore.
Wow.
I did not have that support system anymore. Now, you invited me on this show to give answers on that part.
Mm-hmm.
Still don't understand how I survived in it. That I don't have an answer for. But I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yes,
here
only by the grace of God.
by the grace of God. And the only thing I knew what to do was to hold on to life. And when I say hold on to life, try my best to empty myself in my son as long as I am here. Because no man know the day nor the hour. All right. So I could also remember my living conditions. All right. Um, I never had a situation. I mean, my living conditions was a choice made by me. I always wanted more for myself. I always wanted to do the things that I believe a man should do, and that's to stand on his own feet. And I could
Mm-hmm.
remember trying to get a part of the ground. I could remember um, just trying to get the roof sorted out. I could remember no bathroom. I could remember. Oh, I have to say this. I could remember no bathroom. I could remember when my first vehicle got repossessed and all at the same
Mm-hmm.
time in that
Mm-hmm.
environment. And the police officer, I will look for him soon. The police officer, he came to repossess the vehicle and he looked at the certain things that was going on in the yard and he's like, oh. He's like, you doing this, you doing that, you doing this, you doing that? I'm like, yeah. So my focus wasn't even on the payment. My focus was on the security, yeah.
Yeah.
And I can remember, I'll never forget it. He said, I gotta take your truck. He said, but he said, I gotta take your truck. He said, but what you doing on Monday? I think this was a Saturday. He said, what you doing on Monday? I say, I ain't doing nothing. He say, can you get to Kelly's? So I say, yeah. So he said, meet me by Kelly's at this particular time.
Mm-hmm.
And I went by Kelly's. He was there. I think it was his girlfriend was there at the time. And he sent her off. He like, when somebody there with you, but he sent her to do something. Like he distracted her.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, go get that, go do that, go do that, go do that. Police officer, be him in police officer. If I see him today, I recognize he's a speed cop. He said, get all the bathroom fixtures you need for your house. Get all. All. Pick them up. Pick them up. Get all.
Wow.
Toilet, this thing, next thing, everything, the fixtures, the pipe, the run to the cesspit, everything, everything. He said, get everything you need. So I said, what? So he said, yeah. He said, get everything you need. This man paid for everything. What am I
Wow.
saying to you?
Tell me.
God, God will send the survival kit, yeah? He will send the survival kit. And I'm telling you,
He'll
Now,
send it to you when you need it.
now you hear that story, right? Now here's
Yes,
the
sir.
key. I could tell you stories on stories on top of stories with different scenarios. But
Uh-huh.
bear in mind, me and the wisdom that God give me, I also have to be guided.
Very
I will
true.
I will show you an image to send you that way while I'm on my way this way. I've learned that. And that's the only way you'll survive. You have to distract people. You have to deter people. People would appreciate knowing that you are lacking rather than appreciate that you have. And that's how you survive.
Mhm.
That's how you survive. You understand?
Mm.
Um, I can remember, I can remember at a point I was going through some things. And the minute I released that thing,
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
the minute I released that thing, I could tell you this happened, that happened, this happened, that happened, this happened, that happened, this happened, that. Listen to me. If I start to tell you some testimony, I can't tell the testimonies on this. Listen to me. You see how people that say they find money in their bank account. They
Mhm,
this bill gets sweep away. This happened like this. This happened. Listen, I'm
mhm.
an ambassador, yeah? I'm telling you I'm an ambassador. Listen, certain things, but it's an issue for people. Don't be an issue for me. So I hear you, Holy Ghost. When you put him first, always sell this, he always send the survival kit. I'm telling you. I always just tell Rosie and other people, I always tell them this. In all things, that's one of my secrets. Acknowledge Christ. Because even in that situation,
Mhm,
he trying to tell you something. He's always speaking. And I think that's why I always find in myself with a survival kit. No matter what situation, sometimes you gotta learn to open your mouth. What you don't understand in life, you can never conquer. Now, if you don't understand what's happening, you can't speak to that situation. You have to know what it is that is occurring around you. You have to know that that is
mhm,
very
mhm, mhm.
important.
You are, boy, you hitting some things on, right? And I trying to keep up. Um, so you talked about keeping your
Right,
mouth. You know that is one of the things that the Bible said when you keep your mouth, you keep
right.
your life, right? And a lot of people don't understand, like you said, that's a survival mode. That's right there
Survival mode.
because certain things you cannot afford to release in the atmosphere before time. Like you said, you looking for things to go here, there, and everywhere, and it'll cost you to be delayed. And that's something I had to learn the hard way, babe,
Uh-huh.
because I'm the type of person, babe, if something happened for me, especially my close
Right.
people, babe, y'all, I need y'all to know this was happening and this about to happen. And can I tell you who I think that's happy for me is not happy for me. And so just as I'm releasing
Mm-hmm.
prematurely, what is getting ready to happen. They just listening, oh, and the same time listening, sabotaging me to my
Oh,
face,
listen,
babe.
listen.
And
Let's talk about
woo,
that. I think it was this year, and I hope some of you are listening, because the Larry that I think everybody should know or be aware of by now, I really don't care.
the
I try my best to be, what you call it, diplomat,
diplomatic.
diplomatic, or however it go, right? You leave it up to me.
Uh-huh.
I'll tell some of y'all, but y'all hip just to make me feel good. Some of y'all I really don't care about. So let me say that for you. All right. I had some people, many people close to me. You know how much shaving I did this year? I survived
Mm,
friends that were fake, unreal. You understand?
come
Wanting to see
on.
my downfall, I had no idea. You understand? And like I say, I hope they listen it because I really don't care. You know, But boy, when you have people close to you, so close to you, and they are after to destroy you or to destroy your character or whatever you built, that's a serious thing. And to survive that, that was an easy thing. Because I was like in a room, like, I can't believe that is happening. I can't believe Tommy did that. I can't believe Rosie did that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you,
Mm-hmm.
the arms of flesh
Mm-hmm.
will fail you. What am I saying? What you don't understand in life, you can never conquer. So if you don't understand the tools that book, that good book set out, the word and the parables that good book reveal things to you, that the arms of flesh will fail you and all these things, you can't conquer it. It will destroy you when it happens. You have to understand
It will.
what is occurring around you. Even down to our system here, some of our systems, even down to some I wouldn't call certain structures or organization, but even down to some of our leaders. You understand? You have to be careful. You have a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people who haven't survived, um, church hurt. I've been to church hurt. I've
Mm-hmm.
been through disappointments from different officials in different organizations. But like I say, I understood the survival kit. I understood that the arms of flesh will fail me. So it wouldn't affect me the way it would affect somebody else. So certain tools and certain
Okay.
knowledge you have to gain. You have to want to see that you're in turmoil in order to even survive it, or you would succumb to it. Because if you have a reprobated mind, you're gonna survive. You're gonna survive. You know, you get hints every day. You get hints every day. God's showing you signs every day, but you're not taking heed. You're not taking heed.
And that's a
So how
serious thing. That is a serious
you know?
thing.
So how can you survive? So like I say, I've been through the friendship thing. I've been through the church thing. I've been let down by in the arena of politics. I've been let down in the arena by some family members. I've been let down, but I survived it. And I think sometimes that bothers people too. I think that sometimes bother people because when people go through things, they wear it on their face or whatever. To tell you the truth, because I understand the system, I don't even allow you to get that close to me. I mean, you may get close, but to say, well, for me to be hyped, I don't even be surprised. I say, like, oh, okay, yeah, okay. What you thinking affecting me ain't affecting me. It doesn't.
Yeah. And that comes with time and trial and error
Oh
and
yeah,
experience because you know for somebody that's in the thick of it, they can't see and understand and process that you know it may look and feel how it is now, but it won't always be
yeah,
like this. You learn to adapt. Hold on. You should learn to adapt. You should be able now to realize that listen, I didn't know, say, Larry didn't set me up and he didn't do this and he didn't do that. So what's gonna happen is like the saying go how it go, shame on me once or fool me once and
shame,
that
shame me once. Shame on me. Shame me twice. Some shame on some. They know.
but right, that
Yeah,
and so as we going through these
yeah,
situations, the real reason behind the situations is to learn the lesson
yeah,
from it. No matter how it goes, you have to learn the
yeah.
lesson from it. Because if you don't learn the lesson from it, it's going to keep happening in
The-
different ways. And so here it is now. You are in this situation of, let's say, a
right.
relationship hurt. Say what the agenda of people is towards you. One, what you can continue to share your business with them for. Okay, all right. So if you're in that, okay, fine. You realize you're not going anywhere. Everything you do it just keeps falling apart. It keeps stopping. You're just not making any type of headway, any type of ground. What
Listen
you
to me.
doing?
Let me tell you how serious it is to survive, yeah? Because I've been in a previous relationship before, I know how to protect a relationship now, right? I've survived it. So I survived the dots. I survived everything that people threw at me, right? So what am I
Mm-hmm.
saying? When I say keep your mouth, if I was to get married tomorrow, I don't think nobody will know. That's the only way you can survive this day and time because you're fighting against people who are ignorant. You're fighting against demonic spirits. You understand what I'm saying? And if you're not careful, you would succumb to your injuries. You would succumb to your injuries. Not everybody is thinking healthy. Not everybody looks at you through God's eye. Your people smile with you, family members, loved ones. Ah, you know what I love so much? God give me a gift. I can look at you and know you're trying to deceive me, and I will make you feel so comfortable. Listen to me. That's the real power, yeah. That's the real power behind my survival. I have mastered the art of making you feel so comfortable. You understand? You have to, in
Mm-hmm.
order to survive, you have to be wise. You have to use
You better.
wisdom. You have to gain knowledge. You understand what I'm saying? If you know the
Mm-hmm.
school system uh 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 um um is overcrowded, right? And you have a situation where every June, every June, check it out. Oh Lord, I don't have one. Every June, you know what happens on the streets of Nassau? Every June, that is the time where most drivers, bus drivers, make majority of their money. Around June, it's around the time you find a lot of people walking around with their brown envelopes, right? Catching buses, looking for a job.
Mm-hmm.
That's their resume. Watch it every June. So if you understand and you see that the something is wrong with the system, nobody can find a job. You don't think you should educate yourself to carry yourself in a different direction rather than taking that route, being let down, and succumbing to injury, depression, suicidal thoughts, this thing, next thing. I can't find a job.
Mm-hmm.
Frustrated. That's why I'm saying sometimes you have to pause. Sometimes you have to pause and understand what's going on around you. Or the or the uh,
And then too, sorry, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll go
or the
after you.
cycle repeats itself. So you got a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
dying. Dying. When I say dying, vision dying, drive dying. But these are things
Mm-hmm.
a human being needs to survive. We need each other. I
Mm-hmm.
need you to
Mm-hmm.
be birthed in order for me to survive. Because if you had succumbed to your injuries in your former marriage, if you had committed suicide, you wouldn't have been helping these people on the live today. Go ahead.
And as you said that, I'm reminded, and I want to take it back a little,
Right.
even back. Um, but it goes back, tying back to what you said earlier about what you're instilling
Right.
in your son. When we were growing up, we saw things a little different than what's going
Right.
on
Yeah.
now. We were taught manners and respect will take you around the world. We were taught how to enter a room and say good afternoon, because if you didn't get teetered, you'll be trying to find or duck in something. Just going, you get what
Right.
I'm saying? We were taught survival
Right.
mode. We were taught that if something, like for example, if today, if electricity goes out, the kids, it done. it over. They don't know what's going to happen. You know why? They are so glued to the computer, social media. They are fixated on, oh, only this, right? Compared to back, like my daughter to say, back in my day, electricity off, you go outside in the neighborhood, you shoot marble, you climb tree, you play jacks, you're building and create, and these are simple but yet strategic and powerful tools that help navigate you through. Because when you play in marble, you just don't play marble. You have to understand the marble, and then when you shooting, and then you gotta aim, and then you gotta figure out, because if you hit them, and you get what I'm saying. Now, I'm not knocking technology now, but what I'm saying is the the level of survival that we were taught and our parents were taught, it's like it's falling off. And one of the reasons to account to it is that you find that children are having children, so they now are not,
Development.
they don't have time. They don't have time. They still learn how to survive themselves. So if I'm still learning how to survive myself, how I could teach you to
I wouldn't
survive?
go too much in depth, but I can tell you this, and I'll leave it as this. It's strategic being done.
Mm-hmm.
It is strategically being done. But guess what? I choose to
What?
live. Not that I can't say and break it down,
Mm.
but that's why I say, me and you could have this conversation off air. That's why God, watch this. The Bible, thank you, Holy Ghost. The Bible is used for, uh, um, um, it's, it's written in parables. Do you know that if it was not for the parables, the, the word of God would have not survived? In other words, if the Bible was so direct, they would have removed it out of the hands of the people. The only reason why it survived today is because he's speaking parables. That's a strategy. That's why I told you, I'm not going to identify myself or my story to people. You're going to have to identify yourself to me. The Bible says, seek and ye shall find. He'll send the kit when he knows that you're ready.
And that's another thing too. You have to be
You got to
willing
be
and
willing and
ready.
ready. A lot of people don't understand the concept of surviving. Some people survive, and I don't even think they know why they survive. That's why they keep on repeating cycles. You're not getting the picture.
Hmm.
Go ahead.
And that's a serious thing. That's a serious thing. And for a moment I was guilty of it too, because a lot of things I had to figure out. Some things I was taught, some things I saw, some things I experienced. And based on whatever it was at that particular time, I had to realize, listen, for the continuous cycle, I had to say, okay, God, what's going on here? What's going on here? Because I feel like I can't get out of this revolving
Hmm.
door. And there were times where, you feel like you're making some sort of headway, then something happened, and boom, you go 5, 6, 7, 8 feet back.
Yeah.
And then I'm like God, like, what's going
Right.
on? You're not paying attention, is what's
Right.
going on. If you want to get out of a situation, if you want to survive a situation, you have to pay attention to what's going on. And even sometimes people will be like, oh, but you in the midst of a situation, and you can't focus on things like that. Now, if you can't focus on it, how else are you going to get out of it? How else are you going to survive from it? You have to, one day out of seven, you have to make up in your mind, is this something that I'm going to continuously live out? Is this something that I'm going to continuously experience and go through and allow me to be in this
Yeah.
state? I was in a situation where at the time, you know, my mother-in-law, if I cleaned the bathroom, she would come behind me and clean it. If I cleaned the kitchen, she would come behind me and clean it. And if I tell my husband about it, oh, don't worry about it, continue to do your skills. There's only so much that a person can take. And
Right.
if you're not helping me mentally to say, listen, okay, address the situation so that I can feel like, number one, you have my back. Number two,
All
give
right.
me the confidence to know that I can do this. Yes, but make me feel as if that um there's still more. Okay, okay. So you're in this situation. I had to get to the place where, you know what? I realize he's not going to do it for me. She is not going to do it for me. My family had to literally sometimes just talk to me. Listen here, you around here sitting down, hurting your head and worrying about this, stressing about this. You have humans to live for.
Yeah.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do? You around here carrying on, and they had to talk to me rough and harsh. And I sit down and I'm like, and I'm having this pity patty moment. But one day out of seven, it hit me to the point where I said, God, I can't do it. I need you to show me and help me how to get out of this. How do I survive this? How do I come out of this where it does not repeat? How do I prove that, listen to me, I can do this and I can continue to do it and I can stay out of it because I need to leave a legacy for my children. Like you said earlier, this is not normal. What we're not going to do is we're not going to make it seem as if that when you get married or when you're in a relationship, this is what's going to happen. No, that cycle I had to break. And I always used to say to him, I said, listen, you have girls. What example are we setting for them when they get in relationships to eventually get married? What type of survival stories will they have? And that's, you have to be careful of the seeds that you're sowing now, because tomorrow when you see that tree then spring up and the branches and the leaves and it starts to bear fruit, you're gonna need to know the seed you plant so that when that tree starts to bear fruit, it don't end up being cursed, or you get what I'm saying,
Yeah.
or bearing the wrong type of outcome that you like. Hold on now, hold
I
on.
I
And so
know.
a lot of times we don't even seek God in all of this. Some people don't even try to, and then it just spirals out.
My I know we're almost out of time, but I want to say this in regards to surviving. I don't want to speak death, but I want to speak positive. So I would say it like
Hmm.
this. I would say it like this. My heart goes out to that boy child, that boy girl who don't have sociable skills. My heart goes out to the boy and child who don't know the value of communication because we feel that we gotta
Yeah,
to say how we feel. We don't communicate. My heart go out. You understand? How are we gonna survive this day and time? We're not talking to each other. Um, um, Social media and every aspect of it have taken over the minds of these children, and they see the
yeah,
world in a way that is not really designed to be seen. My heart goes out to the man who isn't seeing the need as a man or a father or a husband to take up a trade, to put themselves in a leadership position that they could lead a family as God lead them. My heart goes out
yeah,
to my heart
yeah.
goes out to that man who isn't applying himself to see vision. My heart goes out to that young mother, that woman who isn't seeing the need to submit under proper leadership. My heart goes out to that woman or that mother who doesn't recognize a healthy relationship and what it takes to maintain
Hmm.
a healthy relationship. All of these
Yeah, yeah,
factors, all of these factors, boy, child, woman, wife, XYZ, if you don't open up to see what's going on, you won't survive.
Mm-hmm.
You won't survive. It's taking place. You won't survive. Because here it is, because you're not a leader or you don't apply yourself to be a leader as a man, that means you cannot foresee. That means COVID come and you ready to commit suicide. You ain't ready. You ain't foreseeing the plan for A, B, and C. When that woman say, hey, we need to do this, you're not saying, yes, we can do that. But it's not the time yet. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You as a mother, if a man out there working hard to provide, and you can't foresee that the TV and the game is growing up your child, that child won't survive. Because when
Yeah.
reality hits, it's gonna be like, mommy ain't tell me
Well,
this,
what's going on
daddy ain't
here?
tell me this.
Well, I
Don't tell
didn't know nothing about that. Yeah.
you gotta go work. You gotta go work. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, like I tell my son, um, you can't be here with me. My background is I know all the trades. You can't fix a socket. You can't change a light bulb. You can't
Mm-hmm.
drain the oil out of a
Mm-hmm.
car. You can't do this. When rubber hit the road and you're about to leave your family, if I don't instill these things in you, you won't survive it. You won't.
Listen, that is so true. Let me tell you, when we were growing up, my dad is a contractor. My dad used to take us to work with him. And he always used to say, Tammy and Rika, I don't want y'all to ever have to depend on a man to do certain things for y'all. Have the basic knowledge and understanding so that if you need to have it done, you could do it yourself. Or even if you have to hire somebody, you already know what they're supposed to do so they can't BS you. You
Right.
understand? So we knew what it was to go to work with him. We could mix cement, lay block, lay tile, we can shingle, you name it in construction, we could
Tommy,
do.
Tommy,
Yes, sir?
I
Yes,
want,
sir.
I want before you go, I wanna correct you there. I want
What?
you said
Yes, sir.
your
Mm-hmm.
father told you so and so, and he's right. I understand from what concept you're coming from, but I want you to practice, and all of us to practice the way we use words. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
Because it breeds something. It is set out to be positive, but it breeds something that could be negative. For example, if you if
Okay.
you if you
Okay.
are if you are a if you want to become a mechanic, what do? You train up under a mechanic. If you
Yes.
want to become
Yes.
a, a, a carpenter, you train up under a carpenter.
Yes,
If you
sir.
want to be a good wife or mother, no, but
Uh-huh.
if you want to become a good wife, you train up under a wife. What am I saying to you? You got a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
wanting to become a good wife. I'm just using a scenario, but they training
Uh-huh.
up under a woman who isn't married. So what I'm saying is
True.
sometimes
Mm-hmm.
the example isn't a good example. So, like how you say, your father say, you use the word, like you use your word. Oh, you don't need a
Mm-hmm.
man. I'm telling you how we get ourselves in problems. You
Now
understand?
he didn't say that, That's not
Okay,
what I said. He
okay,
said to me, he
yeah.
said, in other words, he trained us, to do certain things, not having to fully depend on people. And like I said, he
Thank you for
even
correcting me.
said,
I rather you say that. I think you
"What?
understand where I come
Okay,
from. You understand?
I
Because
do. I
because
understand.
because
My
you
apologies, sir.
because
I understand.
because
Yes.
right now you're trying to change your flyer from survival and cause me to go in survival mode to defend a man. You trying to change the whole topic right now.
No,
Yeah, because T said that is do little something to me. It's do little
no,
something.
no, no. But the gist of what he is saying is,
Let me say it for you. Let me say it for you. The
okay,
gist of what he is saying
yes,
is if he was a
uh-huh.
carpenter, right?
He's a yes,
contractor, carpenter.
ex-contractor.
Even if you can stand on the side of your husband and lay blocks with your husband,
Uh-huh.
if he is if he isn't there, you're able to look at your husband and hire somebody and say, look here, Tom say, when your husband say, Tom say he charged $1 to lay this block, you say, no, no, no. Baby, it's 50 cents. What your father taught you. If you don't know how to do it, you know how to identify what is right and what is wrong. You feel me?
Yes,
But
yes.
don't say how to keep us out of the picture because we
Mm-hmm.
masculine, we's man, we's the leader. You don't go lay no block.
I did. Now you
You
see,
trying to
I
stand.
did
Woman, put
not.
down your
I
hand
said
when
I
you
didn't
talking
say
to me. Okay, good. Go ahead.
no, but I understand. I understand what you're saying, and very true. You have to be careful in how you use words, and
If
I
you offend me,
understand that. But
you offend
in
me,
all
that's why I had to
sincerity,
butt it. You
if I offend,
words is
I
affect me. You
but
yeah.
I appreciate you calling me out on it because sometimes we say things in context and it could be misleading or
Yeah.
misunderstood. Yes, Ashton.
What is the
Yes.
comment? What they saying in the
You
comments?
see? Oh, you're not able, okay, hold on. So Ashton is saying there's a misunderstanding. She simply said that her dad wanted them to have a basic knowledge to either do it
I understand. I
if
understand.
as if you
I
don't have it to
understand
do.
what Ashton is saying, but I just wanted it to be a learning experience because even though Ashton could get that and appreciate that, if you're still not careful, because I do it sometimes, that's why I can tell you. If you're not careful, we know
Uh-huh.
what we're saying or trying to say sometimes. But sometimes we're saying it, but we still gotta
Yes.
dumb it down or actually navigate it so people can understand because it can be interpreted different. It can be interpreted, child, if Tommy can do that, why can't my husband?
That's true.
Child, if he don't want to do it, I can do it. That's why yeah. That could breed a whole nother, yeah. But I understand. So let's take with the small man.
I understand. I understand. Yes, sir.
And tell
I
Ashton,
understand
don't
what you're
beat me
saying
up.
there.
Who got a question for me before you go? And whatever, whatever. Who got a question for me?
Yeah, yes, yeah, but I understand
Right.
what you're saying, and even so, like I always tell, and let me tell you one of the things as we
Right.
wrap up, so that you can talk about your show. I want you to just give some information
Jesus.
light to your show. One of the things that and I always, and I had to learn this, and thinking about it now, I understand fully now what you're saying because I always used to tell my husband at the time, you don't treat me as a wife because I know how a wife's
Right.
supposed to be treated. My dad, when you see my daddy getting paid from a job, it don't make a difference how much money my
Yeah.
mommy have. He can give her money for herself. He can give her money to pay the bills. He can give her money for the children. He can give her money to for her and for her. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? And at the time, I didn't realize I was just saying that for spite or to get back at him. I was really saying it, but listen, I know how a wife's supposed to be treated. You're not
Right.
treating me this way. My dad was a living example on how to treat his wife. And that's what I'm expecting. And this ain't what I
Right.
getting. It wasn't lining up.
I understand.
And I realized after coming out of it now, sometimes it's a way you say things, and sometimes, you know, you have to be careful, like you say, how to word things. And so I understand what you're saying, but I gonna need you to know that I know pushover, babe. Just how if you want to act up, I know how to change a tire. My daddy teach me how to change a tire. I know how to pitch a roof. I know how to go to a mechanic store and play like I don't know what's going on, but you called something. So what happened to the cable again? Or what so it still goes back to my daddy teach. So that was my daddy's way of survival mode for me. In case of anything was to happen, in case if I'm still all alone, I am not defenseless. I can still manage. I could be able to do something. You know what I mean? And those are the things that you want to teach your children. Those are the legacy that you want to continue on with your children. Survival mode. And a lot for a lot of, for me, it's not about the big stuff, it's about the small stuff. And I always tell my children, and you were saying it earlier, when it comes to people and negative words over, your situation, and I always tell my children, when their dad and I were going through, never one day I talk ill about their Grammy or their daddy. Never. Whatever story I shared was based off me. And I always tell them, listen, that's your mommy and that's your daddy. You call your daddy, you see how he doing? You call your Grammy and see how you doing. You're not going to say, Tia Tamika, stop you from uh, communicating or building a relationship. And many people didn't understand that method because you know what I said? I said, one day out of seven, they're going to see and understand
Right.
for themselves. They're not going to say, you know what, mommy? It was because of you I didn't have a relationship with my daddy. It was because of you. You ain't gonna say that about Tia Tamika. If you decide not to have a relationship with your daddy or your Grammy, that's on you. And that's going to be based on your experience
Right.
with them. But I am, as a mother, my job is to ensure that I teach you right from wrong, whether they are just being negative and not playing fairly at
Right.
all. And I think for me that was the hardest part. So whenever the negativity came, I just did one simple thing to my children. And people normally kind of laugh at it now, but that one statement is so powerful up to today. Whenever I have a conversation with my children, and at the end of the conversation, I always close it out. Who love you? And they'd be like, you. And I said, nobody loves you like your mommy. Let me tell you something. That statement right there caused my children to fully understand that whatever people may say, whatever people may do, nobody love you like your mommy, number one. You can lie to the world, but when it comes to your mother, if you don't tell me the truth so that I can know how to fight and defend and figure out how we can get this
Right.
sorted
Right.
out. You get what I'm saying?
I get. I got you.
And so all of that. But listen, right before we close up tonight, we talked on a different. We came outside of the box of survival, y'all, and there are so many ways in which we can survive situations, people, things. And so I'm so grateful for you, sir, of taking us. Last week we had Miss Latoya, and you said something that she started off with, and we not only survived, but we conquered. And you came right back here again and you talked about conquering. And so,
Yeah.
it just solidified one body, one mind, one God. And so as we encourage people, whatever situations you find yourself in, you can survive, you can overcome it. Trust God, trust the plan, trust the purpose. You have to be willing to tell God, God, I don't understand what's going on, but I trust you. I don't know how this is going to work out, but I trust you. I need and I depend on you. So what I need you to do is I need you just to talk me up a little bit of strength. Let me know how this can work out. Show me what I need to do, how I need to do it, and so come October 25th, 2025, I Survive is going to be in person. It will not be live. It's going to be in person. It's going to be in Jacksonville, Florida, and we are going to be doing the same basic thing that we're doing now, where persons are going to come together and just share their story and encourage others how to survive. Now, you have a talk show called Pull Up. Tell us about your talk show and how I was on it a few times, and you speak to the matters of almost everything, if not everything, from relationships to politics to real life situations to people, places, things, and it's so important that we find different outlets to get the message out there, to get people to understand and to realize exactly what we need, how we need it, and how you will get it done. Oh, goodness. All right, there we go. So take it away, sir. Pull up selector. I just had to put that in there. Can you can you hear us? Okay, we lost him a bit. He'll pop back in. But yes, survival. We're in survival mode, y'all. And so, as you share your survival story, we encourage you to share from a healed place. We encourage you to be real, be authentic, be genuine, be healed, be delivered from it, so that when you do share your story, you tell it so that it can really empower and impact somebody who needs to hear it. Mr. Adley, you're back.
Yeah, you back? You ending the show?
I was just waiting on you to come back, sir, so you can tell us
Uh,
about your
okay.
show as we wrap up.
All right. So very quickly, pull up was something that I guess just happened. Me and Rosie, um, and a very dear friend of mine, we got together and we went on a live with her. And then after
Okay.
that, well, actually, I set them up. I set her up, and then after that, I set Rosie up. So
Right.
then Rosie was like, because I saw it in both of them, and Rosie's like, "Oh, this feels so good." And she gets so excited. I couldn't sleep. She keep on calling me, blah 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 blah. So I said, "Let's do it." And then
Mm-hmm.
we got some sponsors from your daughter. Grateful, we're grateful. She did this lovely fly you saw here. I guess you could reach out to Tammy and she could get you hooked up with some nice advertising material through her daughter. Very good. And so we did it. So Pull Up is actually hosted by me and Rosie. Rosie is here. She's watching live. And we have our co-hosts, Stella and Naris. We do pull-ups every week where we just randomly just pull up and hit one of our topics off. But
Mm-hmm.
Sunday, every Sunday at 4 o'clock, you hear from us. We go live on TikTok, right? And
Mm-hmm.
we touch topics, we interact, we hear from people, all of that good stuff. All right. So that's what it's all about with Pull Up. All right.
Awesome.
Tammy, I want to thank you for having me here tonight. I hope my contribution was something that you anticipated from my detail of it. When I say detail, the way I kind of like to, I guess, try to, yeah,
Mm-hmm,
yeah,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
try to submit as best way as possible without interfering about how I continue to survive,
Mm-hmm.
because like I say, I try to be guided by things I do and say, and that's one of the main reasons how I survive. You
Yeah.
understand? Because not everybody is mature enough to understand that, hey, I survived. They trying to cut you down, they find if you survive. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
Man, every time we trying to end, you to say something and it triggers off something
go
else
ahead.
in me, and I want to say a little something. Listen, and my brother on the line now, right? And we had a conversation the other day, and listen, and pretty much what you're saying is where he's at, and he was telling me, he said the place that he is at right now, it's not about everybody, it's about the consecration, it's about him and God, where God needs him to be, where what God needs him to do. People, it has gotten to the point where it's just him, his close knit, God,
That's me.
and that's
That's
it.
me. That's
That's
me.
it. That's
Yeah.
it. That's it. And people don't understand that you don't need no bunch of people around you. You need to be to a place where you need to hear clearly from God. And if that means stripping off, brother, if you would allow me, he said sometimes when he's at work, the people are so accustomed to his routine till they don't even like So he'll be working and he busts off in tongues. And he'll be like, yeah, we know you speaking in tongues. Listen, I pay. Just that alone says so much, and it blessed me so much because I am now getting to that point where I don't even if you ain't on the agenda of God, if you ain't on the path of being able to say, listen, there is more to what I need to do. And right now, if you ain't on that run, I can need you to continue to kick rocks and go about your business, because my focus is on the things of God. My focus is to get deeper and higher in God. And if that means to be secluded and set apart for people, that's what we call to be anyhow. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But just like what you were saying, and my brother Ashton, listen, oh my gosh,
I
that's just what it is.
I only get one. I
Go
only
ahead,
get
sir.
one last closing words, and then I'm done. I'm done after this.
We done.
Yeah.
We done. Okay. After this, we done.
Let me
Okay.
tell you
All right.
how I'm gonna survive tonight and moving forward. I'm gonna
Okay.
survive by simply acknowledging whether she be in the room here where I am, or whether she be on the live. How I survive is how my relationship survive is. The viewers will never know whether she is on the live or she's right here. But I would like to acknowledge her and to say thank you for preparing me for tonight. Thank you for not allowing me to come in. I was coming with one t-shirt on. She said, nah, nah, nah. I said, but I gotta be me. So then I put on another shirt. She said, nah, 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 nah. She said, that's the one there. So I want to continue surviving by acknowledging her. So thank you, baby. Thank you.
Yeah. And I could be
Uh,
Tropsy. I can leave that right there
yeah.
and I can let you have that moment and survive.
Yes.
I can be Tropsy online, but we could be Tropsy
Yes.
offline.
Thank you, everyone.
But listen, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate all of you. And I hope that something that we said may have been a blessing, something that hit home and caused you to rethink whatever situation that you're in, to help you to know that you can survive, and to move forward, to be a better human than you are, just by continuing to make the choice that I choose to live, I choose to move forward, I choose to be a better person. And so, as you continue to share your survival story, whatever it is, share it from a healed place. Let God allow you to, when to, how to. And like Mr. Adderley said, you be led as to when you say, how you say, who to say it
Don't cast
to,
your pearls
you
amongst the
know?
what? Don't cast
Swine.
your survival story amongst the what? Swine.
Okay.
All right.
Listen, it's a Friday, y'all. It's a Friday. Bim. Thank you so much for tuning in. Listen, I just want y'all to know that this show is something that it's not what man would think it is. It's not what I was. This show is just dedicated, okay, God, that's what you want me to do? Anybody who knows me, even though I am such an over the top extra, yes, it's in my words again. I gotta let you say it right now. Okay. Um, but I chose to follow the leading and the obedience um, in completing this assignment of the I Survive. And there's so many things that I'm still surviving and that I am learning how to navigate through it all. Yes, sir, Mr. Adderley.
I
Don't
guess
cough
one
me up.
last
Let
question.
the people know how.
No, I just get one last question. I
We
survive. I survive conference. I intend on being there. But what I would like to ask you, how do people get in contact with you to get booked, register? What? I mean, what do we do?
So if you would like to be there in person, you can go on to Eventbrite and you can just type in I Survive, and it's free.
Oh,
You just have to register. That is it, and that is all. And once you register, you will get a confirmation ticket. And the flyer is posted. That's my right, maybe you're my left, maybe you're right. But the flyer is posted. The location this year, God has it where we're going to be in Jacksonville, Florida. And one of the things God said to me concerning I Survive, He said, I want you to take it different places. And so wherever God leads, we will be sharing the story of survival, bringing hope, bringing peace wherever. You can send me an email, Doves Global Events, intl@gmail.com. Send me a Facebook or YouTube message, and we'll get back to you, give you all the information you need, and we go from there. From now until October 24th, we are having, every Friday we are on with a different guest, talking about survival stories. And if you still want to be a part, what we are also doing is you can provide a video of something that you would have survived, and we can share it on our social media pages. You know, some persons just don't care to be on the camera. They're not ready for that yet, but they will do a video or a voice note to share their story. And so if you follow us on Facebook, it's either Live with Tamika or Dell's Global Events, and you will see all of the videos of persons sharing their stories and testimonies of how they survived, and encouraging somebody else that they can survive as well. Okay? Mr. Larry, anything else you'd like to say as we close, sir?
I'm empty.
Yeah, thank you. My brother say free. Praise the Lord. Brother, you know,
He ain't
I
safe. Me and
free.
Ashton, he ain't
Yeah,
safe.
you leave my brother
They
alone. He
free.
more than safe. You leave my brother alone.
If you're coming, bring a love offering. Bring a love offering. She ain't asking. I say bring a love offering.
Oh,
That's what I say.
gee.
That's it, and that's all.
Anyhow.
I want you to put your thing up. Do me a favor.
Yes, sir.
Since you ain't pay me and give me no food basket to come on the show.
No, I wasn't.
Put your banking details on this flyer if somebody want to contribute to this work. That's it, and that's all. That's all I ask you to do for me. Thank you.
I can thank you so much for tuning in. As we close, may the Lord continue to be with each and every one of you guys. We pray that God's blessings continually be with you, that God will continue to lead you, guide you, protect you, open and close doors that only He can. We pray that everything you've been petitioning God for, that He swiftly, in His time, bring it to pass. And we pray that you would continue to stay focused, continue to trust the plans of the Lord, continue to obey and be receptive to the will and the calling that's in you for God. Thank you again. Have an awesome night, and see you again next week, Friday, for another I Survived series. It's a Friday, y'all. Bim!
Boom!
Until the next
What a powerful show. Got to let the world know now. Tamika and Peter and Kutelua. Live with Tamika. Fruitful Tuesday, they need it for sure.
Live with Tamika. Fearless Friday, they need it more and more.
Live with Tamika. The most I will bless us for sure.
Live with Tamika. Just global, here we go. We motivate, we elevate you to higher heights. Determination as we empower your mind. Building confidence, you will be surprised. The obedience, we are on the rise.
Shabba, life with Tamika. Doves Global, here we go.
We motivate, we elevate you to higher heights. Determination as we empower your mind. Building confidence, you will be surprised. DOVS, we're
Hi, my name is Tia Tamika, and I am a Godpreneur. I am the founder and CEO of Doves Global Event International, a platform where we create, promote, and host events as God leads. For more information, you can send an email to dovsglobal@gmail.com or send a WhatsApp to 754 946 9754. You can also follow us on Facebook at Doves Global Events INTL. Our motto is creating memorable moments as we connect you from promise to purpose.